everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you a speed version of our Art Joy of Sharing live stream from Thursday, September 27th. We live stream every Thursday unless one of us is busy, obviously. This is myself and Peg Robinson, and we have a different channel, so you can go over there and watch this in real time with talking during it, like you do with live streaming. So we were talking about abstract art today, and this is one of my favorites. I love abstract art. I think it's awesome. Basically, what abstract art is when an artist is trying to convey an idea or a feeling or a dream or something using color and pattern and not realism. Um, Lots of art is realism. Even whimsical art is kind of realism because you can still look at it and say, okay, that's a face. Abstract art is more using the shapes or using unusual colors to kind of, the artist knows what they're doing. The artist knows what they're trying to portray or what the feeling is that they're doing, but using color and shape, it can actually be interpreted in other ways. So when you see something that's an abstract art piece, you might see something in it that wasn't really intentional, but is still really cool. So both Peg and I were making pieces. This is the piece I ended up with, and I didn't finish it on the show. At the end of the video, there's more footage of me finishing it, and I'm still not sure it's completely done. There's some things about it that kind of, yeah, not sure I like, but we'll see. I hung it up on the wall and I'll look at it for a while, and then I might come back and maybe add something to it to change a few of the things that I didn't appreciate as much. So I'm obviously doing collage. You can do abstract art with any medium, anything from watercolors to using a knife with oil paint to acrylic to cut pieces of plastic or paper or just anything. It can be an installation, it can be 3D, it can be flat, it can be a shape, it can be, it's limitless. It is limitless, and it is just really, it's so fun. So fun. So I'm using collage, and I'm putting collage on a black gessoed 12 by 12 canvas. I think it's fun to go work with black sometimes, and I'm kind of in a black mood, really. And the black seemed like a good choice, so I painted the canvas before the show with black gesso, and then I'm using gel printed papers. Most of these are ones that I did with baby powder, but some of them, like this orange one, is gel printing with food. I used oranges to make patterns on the gel print. Most of it is text weight paper. Some of it is deli paper, and that piece, the horizon line that I put in all the way across, is leftover like junk deli paper. I use deli paper to pick up other papers or to scrape leftover paint on, and those pieces, those basically what become under papers kind of, can be used as well if they have interesting patterns, and that had those vertical patterns on it from something, I don't even know what, and so I enjoyed doing that. I crinkled it up as I was gluing it down to make it have texture, and then I'm also using the concept of a 2/3 1/3 to make a focal area. I'm using papers in the same colors in more than one area, so that so your eye flows around the surface of the canvas. That's what I was talking about at the very beginning when I had the 3 turquoise pieces, talking about how your eye moves from one thing to another, and to try not to let your eye fall off by not having something to catch it. I know it's a weird concept. It's hard to explain, but it's just something that you learn when you practice. So then I got kind of obsessed with this vertical stack that I was creating. I started with those ones on the left hand side and I liked the way they were stacked, and they kind of, I was thinking about balance in your life and how we have so many different things that we have to think about and work on, and we don't always get to do what we want to do. Sometimes we have to do what other people want us to do. And I was thinking about balance, and that's kind of what that orange area of balanced pieces was what I was thinking about. Of course, I was also talking and working at the same time, so it is easier to focus on your composition on a piece of art, especially abstract art, if you have silence and you're not trying to answer questions and talk to your co-host and do all this at the same time. So then I had these pieces of areas that were left from the that was just canvas texture, and they were the dark areas that I wanted to keep dark, but I didn't want them to be canvas, and so I decided to take very small pieces of paper and glue them in there. That way, keeping those dark areas, but also kind of tiling them in with paper so that you wouldn't see the canvas texture so much. I really like canvas texture, and actually, I think I want to move to cradled board for my collages. I'm really not sure how expensive that's going to be. These canvases are inexpensive because you can buy them in a multi-pack, and you know that you get a discount, and cradled board's going to be more expensive. So I almost think I want to just go like to Home Depot and maybe pick up some 3/4 inch board that's, what is that called? It used to be called particle board, but now it's called something else, MDF, and just have it cut and sand it down and maybe use that. But then how do you hang it on the back? I mean, I don't know. I'm going on a tangent here. But anyway, so the part of the abstract piece that I finished on the show was the collage part. And then the rest of it now that I'm working on is after the show, when I decided to put some three-dimensional elements on there. These little round pieces are paper clay. Actually, the round pieces and the molded faces are paper clay, which is an air dry clay that's made with paper fiber. And they were a little bit rough around the edges, so I was sanding them with an emery board. And then I painted the round circles black, and I painted the faces gold and laid them all out there. Then I also have these pieces of wire, kind of a laser cut wire that makes it kind of shiny, and it was from an earring that was found at a club, and I threw it in my stuff because it's kind of cool, and so I decided to use the rest of that earring, so I cut it up. It was like all kinds of little pieces of circles all together, and it was dangly. I used some of it a different day on a different project, but it was there in the box, so I got it out and decided to use it. So I put down all the pieces of paper clay using 3D matte gel from Liquitex, or not Liquitex, Art Basics, Finnabar Art Basics, because I had used the Liquitex matte gel, so the whole piece is pretty matte. And so now I'm adding kind of some blingy stuff over this matte, which will give a contrast. I've got metallic paints, and I'm going to add some more blingy stuff. So I put those down with the matte gel, and that will all dry clear. I know you can still see it, but it will all dry clear, and eventually it won't be so visible on there. And then I started with some of the matte gel, putting some areas on there where I put some of the Art Basics glass glitter in a copper color. Copper, it's got to be copper. I made a huge mess with all this stuff all over my desk, and I have to go clean it up soon. Yeah, not a fan of cleaning that up, but that glass glitter is kind of cool. It's not as glittery as like a polymer glitter is. It's just some different stuff, but it makes an interesting noise as you're using it. And oh, by the way, I used E6000 to glue down the metal pieces. I don't think metal pieces like to stay on there very well. Then I have a couple colors of this Inca Gold wax. One of them is Old Silver, which is a light gold color, and then the other one is this copper color. And I'm periodically using that to highlight areas and make more contrast. Then I decided to use a little bit of this chunky embossing powder from Emerald Creek. And the color that I used is called Hammered Metal, and it has chunks of silver and chunks of black. And I just put a little bit of glue on and then sprinkled the embossing powder on it and then heated it up with the heat tool. I could have used an embossing ink or something, but I just, glue, whatever. Then I decided to add in some of these copper beads, micro beads that I have. I think they're also Art Basics from Finnabair. I think. They might be a different brand, but you know that they're the crazy jumping beads. They get everywhere. They're such a mess. But I just put a little bit more of that matte gel on there in places that I wanted the beads. And then, of course, I'm putting the excess back into the jar to use it later. And then what else did I do? Oh, I decided to add some more of that embossing powder along my vertical horizon line area. And so I did that with some more glue, just white glue from it's tacky, Aleene's tacky glue, which I always have on my desk because I always use it. So I hope you're enjoying this speed up version of the live stream. If you'd like to see the actual real-time live stream plus what Peg did for her abstract pieces, she used some alcohol inks and things like that. The link will be in the end screen. The end card will have a link to the actual live stream show, which is of course recorded at this point because it's already done, but you can watch the recorded version. Also, if you're enjoying this, please remember to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment or question below, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, share, all those things. For this part, I was using my Stabilo All pencil to add in some darkness back into my vertical horizon line because I think I got too much of that wax on there with my fingers. Just wanted some darker lines on there. And then I blended that with the Arteza water tank brush. And I put a little bit more of it around here and there. I might actually go in and put some substantially darker shadows around that focal image. I think that that's what's bothering me is there's not enough shadows on there. Then I decided to finish it off with splatters because who doesn't like splatters? And of course, who doesn't like copper? So I got some copper metallic paint, diluted it with some water and used a fan brush to do some splattering. And then I also had some leftover black gesso on the palette, so I splattered with that as well. So that's it for me for this abstract piece today. And I hope to hear from you. I hope you watch it and you leave comments so that I will hear from you about what you thought. Thanks. Bye-bye.